Customer Segmentation Case Study, Retail Analytics in Action. In this lesson, we will explore how to segment customers based on real retail transaction datasets. Segmenting customers helps retail businesses identify high-value shoppers, loyal buyers, and target groups for promotions. You will learn how to analyze transaction data, uncover purchase patterns, and extract actionable customer insights. The goal is to gain the skills to inform smarter marketing, product, and sales decisions. Running the cell now. We import pandas to work with tabular retail datasets. We import NumPy for fast calculations and random simulation. We import the warnings module to avoid distracting error messages. We tell Python to ignore all warnings in this notebook. Running the cell now. Key retail analytics concepts. Retail transaction datasets contain information about orders, customers, products, and sales. Each row usually represents one transaction or line item, including fields like price, quantity, and customer ID. Revenue is calculated as price times quantity. It is important not to confuse it with the number of items sold. Beginners often make mistakes by mixing up transaction and customer levels, or grouping incorrectly. Running the cell now. We load a real online retail transaction dataset containing sales and customer data. We specify the direct URL to the raw dataset from the UCI machine learning repository. We open the Excel sheet that contains transaction details for a full retail year. We make sure invoice dates are treated as time data for proper analysis. We print the dataset size. Each row is a product bought on a ticket. We preview the first three transactions to understand the structure: invoice, product, quantity, price, date, and customer ID. Running the cell now. This output shows the dataset has over 540,000 transaction rows and 8 key columns including invoice, product details, quantity, price, customer ID, and country. Notice how each row represents a single product line within an order, linking to a customer and timestamp, which is crucial for accurate revenue and customer-level analysis. This sets the foundation for exploring retail transactions without confusing individual items sold with overall sales or customer counts. Practice. Identify any other columns you think might be important for customer analysis. It is important to make sure that each transaction has an associated customer ID for proper segmentation. We count how many transactions are missing a customer ID. We print the result so we understand the data quality before any analysis. Running the cell now. This output shows there are 135,080 missing customer IDs in the dataset, which signals incomplete customer information for many transactions. Noticing missing values here is crucial because it impacts how we analyze customer behavior and aggregate data correctly. This check helps ensure we handle missing data thoughtfully before grouping by customer or calculating metrics like total revenue per customer. What would you do with transactions that do not have a customer ID? Think about the business consequences of including or excluding them. We cannot segment anonymous transactions without a customer ID. Here, we remove all rows missing a customer ID to focus only on trackable customers. We print how many transactions are left after cleanup, so stakeholders can see the valid data size. Running the cell now. This output shows the number of transactions left after removing all rows without a customer ID, which is essential for accurate customer-level analysis. Notice the shape's row count, 406,830 transactions, which confirms the dataset is now focused only on valid purchases linked to customers. This cleaning step ensures subsequent grouping or revenue calculations are based on complete and meaningful customer data. Practice. Try keeping the missing ID data in a copy and comparing results later. Business teams care most about total customer spending, not just individual orders. We calculate a new revenue column, price times quantity per transaction. We sum up each customer's total revenue across all of their purchases. We sort customers in descending order to find the most valuable ones first. We print the top 5 high-value customers by total spending. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 5 customers ranked by their total revenue, highlighting how much each customer has generated in sales. Notice that the revenue column represents the sum of price times quantity for all transactions by that customer, emphasizing the importance of aggregating at the customer level rather than just counting items sold. This helps demonstrate the key retail analytics concept of correctly grouping data to analyze customer spending. What other metrics could you use to rank customers besides total revenue? Knowing how many distinct customers are in your data helps frame your analysis. We count the unique values in the customer ID column. We print the actual number of unique retail customers in this period. Running the cell now. This output shows the total number of unique customers in the dataset, which is 4,372. Notice that this count reflects distinct customers, not transactions, highlighting the importance of distinguishing customer-level metrics from transaction-level data. This helps avoid common mistakes when analyzing retail data at different aggregation levels. Practice: try finding the most loyal customer based on number of invoices instead of revenue. Some retailers want to know who their most frequent shoppers are, not just the highest spenders. We group by customer ID and count how many unique invoices, orders, each customer made. We rename the column to num_purchases for clarity. We display the top 5 customers with the most purchases. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 5 customers by their number of unique purchases, highlighting that customer 1895 made 248 separate transactions. Notice that we are counting invoices per customer, not items or revenue, which clarifies customer purchase frequency. This step is crucial in retail analytics to correctly analyze customer behavior at the transaction level instead of confusing it with product-level counts. Business prompt: why might frequent buyers not always be the most valuable? Intermediate example: average order value by customer. Next, we will measure average order value (KOV) for each customer to find big spenders and value-driven buyers. AOV is a key retail metric that influences marketing and loyalty programs. The formula is simple: total revenue divided by number of unique orders for each customer. Running the cell now. A retailer benefits from understanding not just who spends the most, but who spends the most per visit. We merge our total revenue and order count tables on customer ID. We calculate the average revenue per transaction for each customer. We print the highest average order values to highlight big-ticket buyers. Running the cell now. Here we see the top 5 customers ranked by their average order value, KOV, highlighting those who spend the most per order. Notice the AOV numbers, which reflect total revenue divided by purchase frequency, helping us identify high-value customers who may be prime targets for premium marketing or loyalty rewards. This aligns with our goal to segment buyers based on spending behavior. How might your marketing strategy change for customers with high AOV? Retailers often segment customers into tiers for targeting: bronze, silver, gold, platinum. We use percentile-based binning to assign each customer to a segment based on spending. We print customer IDs, revenue, and assign segment for the first 10 rows. Running the cell now. This output shows the first 10 customers segmented into revenue quartiles, labeled from bronze to platinum, with all listed here falling into the highest platinum segment. Notice how the revenue column quantifies total spending, helping us identify top customers who contribute most to sales. This segmentation is crucial for targeting marketing efforts and loyalty programs based on customer value. Practice: try using other criteria for segmentation, such as number of purchases. Intermediate example: customer recency. Recency analysis measures how recently a customer made their last purchase. It is common in RFM, recency, frequency, monetary, segmentation. Recent buyers are often more likely to buy again soon. Running the cell now. Retail and e-commerce marketers want to know which customers are most actively buying. We get the latest date in our dataset as the analysis cutoff. We find out the date of the last purchase for each customer. We calculate recency in days for each customer. The smaller the number, the more recent the buyer. We print a few customers with the lowest recency days, i.e., they bought recently. Running the cell now. Here, we calculated each customer's recency in days by finding the difference between the latest purchase date in the dataset and their most recent invoice date. Notice the smallest recency days value is 0, indicating these customers made a purchase on the dataset's last recorded date, marking them as the most recent buyers. This insight is crucial for targeting customers likely to respond well in promotions or retention campaigns. Suggestion: segment customers into new, active, and inactive groups using recency. To do practical segmentation, companies need a single table with all customer metrics combined. We merge revenue, frequency, purchase count, and recency metrics into one data frame based on customer ID. We print a preview table to show all the metrics per customer. Running the cell now. This output shows a merged table combining revenue, segment, purchase frequency, and recency for each customer, giving a comprehensive RFM view. Notice how customers with very low recency days, like 0 or 1, still have high purchase counts and revenue, highlighting the importance of recent buyers in your segmentation. This unified view enables targeted marketing based on who purchased most recently as well as their overall value and frequency. Practice: calculate the average recency across all customers. For advanced segmentation, machine learning clustering can reveal hidden groups of customers. We standardize the RFM features so different scales do not bias the model. We select k-means clustering to segment customers into 4 behavioral clusters. We train the clustering algorithm on revenue, purchase count, and recency. We assign each customer to a cluster and print the results for a sample. Running the cell now. This output shows the first 5 customers segmented into clusters based on their revenue, number of purchases, and recency of their last purchase. Notice how the cluster column groups customers with similar purchasing behavior, helping identify segments like high-revenue recent buyers or less active ones. This clustering lays the groundwork for targeted marketing by leveraging recency alongside frequency and monetary value in RFM analysis. Extra, try visualizing the clusters using a scatter plot of 2 features. Business leaders want to know what makes each customer cluster unique. We aggregate mean revenue, mean purchase count, mean recency, and number of customers per cluster. We print the profile for each segment to support targeted marketing or rewards programs. Running the cell now. This output summarizes key metrics for each customer cluster, showing average revenue, number of purchases, recency in days, and cluster size. Notice how cluster 0 has many customers with recent purchases, low recency days ~39, and moderate revenue, indicating active buyers, while cluster 1 has less recent buyers with lower spending. Clusters 2 and 3 have very high revenue and purchase counts but very few customers, highlighting distinct high-value segments valuable for targeted marketing. Suggestion: which cluster should sales or marketing focus on for retention? In real retail data projects, sometimes a column is mislabeled or missing, causing Group B operations to fail. We use a try-except block to handle the error for a missing column. Instead of crashing, we print the specific error message. Running the cell now. This output shows that the code correctly catches and reports an error when trying to group by a column that doesn't exist. Notice the explicit key error message, which helps identify missing data issues early. This error handling is crucial to ensure your recency analysis runs smoothly without unexpected crashes. Practice: try correcting the Group B with the right column name to recover from the error. It is important to check your data for errors, like negative revenue, which signals returns or mistakes. We filter the transactions to flag any with revenue less than 0. We print how many problematic transactions exist. Running the cell now. Here we see that there are 8,905 transactions with negative revenue, which is a red flag for data quality. Identifying and addressing these anomalies is crucial before performing recency analysis, since inaccurate revenue values can distort customer value calculations and segmentation. This debugging step ensures our dataset is clean and reliable for meaningful RFM insights. What are the possible reasons for negative revenue in retail data? Most customer segmentation should only include positive revenue transactions. We filter out any rows where the revenue is negative or zero. We print the remaining clean transaction count. Running the cell now. Here we see the number of transactions after filtering out any with negative revenue, ensuring our recency analysis uses only valid purchase data. Noticing that 397,925 transactions remain highlights the dataset size we're working with for clean, reliable customer recency insights. This step is crucial to avoid skewed results from erroneous or refunded transactions. If your goal is to analyze returns, save the negative revenue subset separately. Best practices in retail customer segmentation. Segment by buying behavior, not only demographics. Combine RFM, recency, frequency, monetary metrics for deeper insight. Remove or separately analyze returns and incomplete transactions for accuracy. Regularly update segments as customers' behaviors change. Running the cell now. Practice, propose a new business segment using combinations of RFM parameters. Like what you are learning? Search YouTube for Retail Analytics Python tutorials for more examples. Here is a simple business task: find all your most valuable VIP customers. We select all customers who fall into the top spending segment, Platinum. We print the number of Platinum customers to understand market share. We show sample VIPs with customer IDs and their revenue to enable direct marketing. Running the cell now. Here, the code isolates the Platinum segment to identify VIP customers, revealing a total of 1,093 high-value shoppers. Notice the top customers have exceptionally high revenue figures, reflecting the monetary aspect of RFM segmentation. This step emphasizes focusing on valuable buying behavior rather than demographics, aligning with best practices for targeted retail strategies. Practice: what kind of rewards program or targeted offer would you design for these VIPs? Subscribe to a YouTube Retail Analytics channel for hands-on video walkthroughs. Retail teams need actionable lists to act on analytics discoveries. We export the list of VIPs to a CSV so marketing or sales can access it. We confirm that the file is successfully created and ready for business use. Running the cell now. This output confirms that the list of VIP customers, selected based on their revenue and buying behavior, has been successfully exported for the marketing team. Notice how the export focuses on key columns like customer ID and revenue, aligning with the lesson's intent to use RFM metrics for targeted segmentation. This step ensures that high-value segments can be effectively engaged with tailored strategies. Now opening the exported VIP customer list so the marketing team can start planning outreach. You can open this CSV in Excel, Google Sheets, or any marketing CRM. Lesson summary. You learned how to segment customers based on order data and RFM metrics. You saw how clustering can automatically group customers by behavioral traits. You practiced handling missing or incorrect data for robust analysis. These segmentation skills help grow retail revenue and improve customer loyalty. Running the cell now. Try segmenting customers by other dimensions, such as region, product category, or seasonality.